You, Andrew.
Yep.
Jess Stainbrook, Athletes in Action.
Hello, Andrew. Jess Stanbrook with Athletes in Action. Everybody really looks up to you. You're kind of a stalwart on the field. I mean, literally, it looks up to you. But the I'm really curious as to what you might say to the next generation about. I know you have a really great story of in college in your first year or so with the NFL, where it was all about you, and things changed. And we talk to players where there's something that's faith, family, friends, football, in that order. What really was the change, and again, what would you say to the next generation of how to think about things so that they've got things in the right order?
Well, I think sometimes just making sure that you're not making life all about yourself, and I think in times in life we can have success, we can have things going our way, and the first thing we want to do is beat ourselves on the chest or give ourselves all the credit we can, or maybe we're always looking to find the ways that we can take credit from something. And I think sometimes just being able to say, you know what, like even in the good times, can I make sure that I'm making things about other people? And that'll help me when I go through the bad times, because I'll have more people in my corner, more people that believe in me, more people that I was there for them. Even in my good times, I didn't make it about myself. I made it about other people. And I think that really in turn gives you a better value of friends and what it means to be a friend, and to also have a support system that helps you really chase whoever it is that you want to be and what you see, the plan that God's really laid out for you in your life. I think that sometimes it's beneficial. I know in my career, I've always thought of like whether if I'm signing an extension or if I'm making a move, that I think is going to benefit me and the family. I always feel like it's like, all right, that means that something I'm doing in the community is about to go up a whole other level. Something I'm doing for other people is about to go up a whole other level too. It's not just about, oh man, I get to have nicer things or I'm getting this benefit. I want to make sure everyone around me, even people that don't know me, feel some of that benefit and that opportunity too. And I'm really making life more about living it for other people and living it through passion of loving people than just about me.
Well, we appreciate what you're doing, especially with your Big Wit 77. So keep it up and have a great game.
Hey, thank you.
Pedro Tofe, Spanish Bowl.
Hi, Andrew. I want to ask you about the Bengals and the Rams, because you played against them in 2019 in London, and you play against them on Sunday. So, how different are both teams, especially the Rams, from 2019 to today?
Yeah, I would say there's a lot of differences. I mean, obviously there's some that stick out of just positionally different players playing and all of that, but also I think both teams have really matured from that time and kind of grown into who they are and have an identity to them. I mean, you look at who the Cincinnati Bengals are and their ability to fight in games and really be really good on both sides of the football, and then obviously in special teams, the coach Darren Simmons. I mean, they're a complete football team, and I think we feel ourselves the same way. I mean, I think that both teams really from that season to now are very different and much more complete football teams, and I think it's going to be one heck of a game.
Thank you so much. And one last question. Could you define each of your all teammates in one word? Brian Allen or Rob Hamstein?
Can I define them in one word? Uh, you know, I think that the coolest word I think I could give those guys is grit. I mean, you got a lot of guys that have had some injuries, maybe not had as much success as they wanted to their first year or two in the league, and it didn't just jump off of them and take off when they immediately got on the football field, but they've grinded their way and found a way to fight and claw to be where they're at and to prove themselves as really good football players in this league. So, I love the grit of those guys and the determination it takes to get to that point.
Thank you.
Nate Davis, USA Today.
Thanks, Andrew. Just wanted to ask you one more. For however long you want to keep it, you're now the dean of the league. The only 40-year-old, since a certain other guy you knocked him out. What does that mean to you? And can you kind of just tell people, like, what does it actually take to last as an NFL player, as long as you have, particularly playing a position that's as physical as yours?
Yeah, it's one of those things that you don't know what it means as far as, everybody's going to give you the old jokes and is it positive to be the old guy and all that type stuff. But, the reality is, yes, it's pretty cool. It's neat for me to go out on the football field and think I'm going to be most weeks facing some 22, 26, 28-year old defensive end who, thinks that, nothing can phase them, and they've, when they get hit, they feel fine, and all that good stuff. And I'm going out there just trying to put my body together enough to make it through the game and still getting my job done. It's like that's so much fun. It's so much fun to go out there and play that way and have that guys come up after you after the game and just be like, man, what a fan I am of how you do things and getting to watch your career. It's really cool for me. Obviously, I've had some special moments over the years with guys, but this past year having a really cool moment with Derek Barnes of the Detroit Lions, who I used to go to boys and girls clubs and love on him when he was just a young kid in Covington, Kentucky. And now for him to have made it to the NFL and to come and find me and give me a hug and tell me thank you for all those years that I mentored him there in that boys and girls club. I mean, just some surreal, unbelievable moments that have happened to me now playing at this age, and I think that's one of the things that's made it so. I'm just have so much gratitude to have existed this long in the NFL and have gotten to be a part of really cool moments like that.
Have you decided if this is the last game or not yet, or is that TBD?
No, I mean that's always something I'll decide after the season. I think you gotta step away for a second, but man, what a cool ending if it is. I mean, two places that I poured my heart and soul into that mean the world to me. I couldn't be happier for Cincinnati to be where they're at and happier for us. So if it is it, man, it'd be one heck of a way to end it.
Thank you.
Claudia Jestro, KWHY 22.
Hi, Andrew. You have been nominated for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. You've seen your fellow NFL players devote so much time to their communities. How did that change you as a person?
Well, I think when you get a chance to really step away from just being an athlete and see, what's going on in your community that you live in, that you work in, and then maybe even where you came from, it opens your eyes to maybe sometimes we don't realize, whether it be in college or whether you get to the NFL, of how good we have it and how many things are out there that we can be a part of inspiring people to have it better and to be a part of them having a better experience in life, whether it be through equality, improving social justice issues, whether it be through fundraising to help with homelessness or cancer research or children's ministries, whatever it may be. It's one of those things where you realize when you go out and you give of yourself, you realize how much you get back because you start to appreciate all the little things in life that may have helped you get to exactly where you are and all the people that may have loved on you or given you support. I think you're able to go out in the community and find some of those things and realize how important that was to your growth and how much you can affect other people. And what a cool feeling, what an awesome platform to have, to walk in an elementary school and walk in a classroom and all 25, 30 kids, are looking at you like you're a superhero. And it's like, what a powerful thing you have, and why not take advantage of it? Why not take advantage of that opportunity to change people's lives and inspire them in a way that you may never understand, you may never know how much you influence them to go and achieve what it is they want to. And I think that's what's really cool about community service and being in the community is it's not about you, it's meeting people where they are and how can you help them get to where they want to go.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Rachel Halliwell.
Hi, Andrew. How's it going?
Good.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I got you now.
Oh, okay. So I was just saying that I'm from Canada, and I don't know if you know, but there are two Canadians on the Rams. Mike Hoyt and Alaric Jackson are both from here. So I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit about those two and then tell me your favorite thing about Canada.
Mike Hoyt and Alaric Jackson, two guys that are awesome teammates. Mike's like one of the smartest guys I've met, crazy intelligent, and he is a guy who works his butt off every single day to be exactly where he's at, and he's kind of those guys that's fun to watch because he's made it in the NFL because of his work ethic and his ability to grind and not let anybody tell him he can't do something, and it's really cool to see. And then Alaric Jackson is a young man who's a rookie tackle who will be a really, really good football player soon in this league, and I am so excited for the Los Angeles Rams that they were able to get him after the draft because I couldn't think more of him, and it's been fun being a mentor of his, and I think he's going to be a really special one soon, and so it's going to be fun to watch his career, and I can't wait to be there with him while he chases it. And if I had to name my Canada thing, that's tough. I've actually never been to Canada, but I live at one time before he moved. I lived close to Wayne Gretzky. Had played some golf with him. So Wayne's my Canada guy, and Russ Courtnall, who's my neighbor, who's also a hockey player for a long time in the NHL, is another good buddy of mine. And when I think of Canada, I think of those two guys, just because they're golf buddies and guys that I've gotten out on the golf course and have learned a lot about Canada from, and really love those dudes.
Yeah, good choices. A lot of Canadians think of those two when they think of Canada too. So thank you.
Teresa Walker, Associated Press.
Good afternoon, Andrew. It's been more than a minute since you were in college in the SEC back at LSU, but there's at least 12 on each roster from for the Bengals and for the Rams from the SEC. I know that the phrase is "it just means more," but when you look around, can you see that league playing in that conference maybe helps guys come into the NFL maybe better suited to play on these big stages like this week?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, when you look at it, you definitely have a lot of guys that are really special talents that come from smaller schools. But the really consistent narrative is the SEC has a ton of NFL football players that get really that practice of playing against other guys that have NFL talent throughout their conference so many weeks of the season, which really can't do anything but help you, really improve your game when you start facing that kind of level of talent. I mean, I think of my time in the SEC and how good of players I got to face in the SEC every week when defensive ends and different athletes that really kind of molded my game and how I blocked people when I got to the NFL. Because when I got to the league, it's not like there was this change in athleticism or ability that I faced guys. I remembered different guys based off of who I'd played in the SEC and I thought they were similar to. And so I think that experience really playing in the SEC, without a doubt, helped me have success in the NFL.
Stacey Dales, NFL Network.
Hey, Whit. Good to see you. I don't think you can see me, but my question is kind of a two-parter. Has anything exceeded your expectations about your quarterback this year, Matthew Stafford? And if I can quickly follow up after that.
Honestly, with Matthew, yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, I think that I always had a ton of respect for him in the league and his talent and his ability and some of the crazy no-look throws and different things he'd done in his career that you always admired him for. And you saw a lot about different injuries or things he played through and how tough he was. But really seeing him day to day, I guess maybe the commitment level, the guy's guy type mentality he has of just how tough he is regardless of what happens to him, regardless of when he gets hit, and always owning everything. I mean, he's one of those guys that it's like hard for you to take ownership of maybe I could have blocked a guy a little longer, or maybe we could have blocked this scheme a little better, or guy could have got open a little more. I mean, he's almost going to own up and say it was his fault, or he could have done something, or he could have done better on the play before you even have a chance to say anything. He's just one of those people that doesn't worry about what people are going to look at him like or think about him. He just wants to go to work. He wants the challenges. He wants the ball in his hand when it means it's time to make a play. He accepts all challenges. I mean, it's one of those guys that, like I said, it's a guy's guy that you're like, man, this is a good man and a good father and one heck of a football player who wants to take on any challenge in front of him. And it gives you nothing but a ton of respect for him each and every day.
Amazing. And just my follow-up, thank you. Why was the 3-game losing stretch in the month of November important for your football team?
I think it gave us a little bit of humble pie and really gave us an opportunity to say, all right, what is our identity? Who are we? What is it that we want to be each and every week we go out on a Sunday? And maybe we're riding a high of maybe feeling ourselves a little too much, and that we have a lot of talent, we have a lot of ability. But how do you put all that together? And how do you go out every week and play complementary football? The offense, the defense, the special teams, complementing one another, rallying together and finding ways to win. And you also look at that as we also got a little healthier during that time, and we kind of had added some new pieces, had some injuries that really kind of new guys were in there, and we kind of had to get all on the same page with things. I think it was just a great opportunity in that 3-week stretch for us to grow and to realize that little moments in big games against really good opponents can really dictate the game. And you got to go into every one of those games and realize, regardless of how much talent we have, we got to be on top of it if we want to be successful.
Thank you.
Anthony Conzenza, Vox Media.
Hey, Andrew, good to talk to you. I've been following your career for a long time. I just had a question for you. Zach Taylor overlapped some time with you in LA as an offensive assistant coach. I was curious if you kind of saw something early on in him that would make him a successful NFL head coach. And are you surprised at how quickly both he and your fellow LSU Tiger, Joe Burrow, have the Bengals in the Super Bowl and turn things around?
Well, with Zach, I mean, it's one of those things that when you're around him, you realized he had a special demeanor about him, a special calm. I always used to say that he kind of seemed like one of those like accomplished backup quarterbacks, in the NFL. Like just kind of always had a vibe to him, like I understand the game, and I'm a little bit of that killer instinct of just knowing when and where to push certain buttons and have certain intensities and hold people accountable and all of that. He's just one of those guys that you immediately knew, man, this guy's going to be an amazing football coach. At the time, he wasn't really in a position where you started to say, all right, well, what would he be as a head coach? But you knew at some point, as he moved up the ladder, that was going to be a possibility. And how fast it all came together was awesome. And I can remember sitting with him when he was taking the job in Cincinnati and us discussing the job and how excited he was about it and, what he was kind of walking into. And I couldn't be more happy for him and proud of him. I mean, my wife's close with his wife, and they talk all the time, and we're really excited for them and happy for them where they are. And with Joe, the few times that I've gotten to be around him, nothing shocks me with him. His mentality and mindset for the game of football is so special and so rare that he's going to be a really, really good one for a long time. And I think people in Cincinnati are going to have a chance to maybe experience this again a couple more times as long as Joe Burrow is the quarterback.
Thanks, Andrew.
Amy Jest.
Good afternoon from Louisiana. Joe, like you just talked this morning about the relationship you two cultivated last year while you two were hurt. What was the genesis of that, and what does that mean to you now that you got to spend some time with him as you two were rehabbing?
Yeah, I just kind of admired him from afar. I'd never really met him when he was at LSU. I didn't get a chance to go down there and all that ever since we moved to LA. It's been harder. And I'd seen, he got hurt, and then our team doctor is Dr. Neil Elchosh, who did his surgery. And so I had reached, Dr. Elchosh had been talking, and Doc and I kind of reached out to one another, and he's like, man, like, I think Joe would love to meet you. I think it'd be a really cool blend to get you two guys together, and just I think you guys are both really rare guys, and I'd love to see you two guys get together and just spend some time and get to know one another, and I think it'd be great for Joe. And I was like, man, I've wanted to meet him forever. I've never met him, just to shake his hand, tell him thank you for the national championship at LSU, and then what a great job he did. So I ended up having him over on a Sunday when both of us are, the old man on crutches and the young man on crutches. And, Dr. Elchosh came with us, and we sat around and had a good meal and spent the whole day together watching football games. And it was really fun. I mean, his girlfriend Olivia came over too, and my wife and her got to spend some time together. And those relationships have been great to bond and cultivate. And you know what? It gave me a chance to get an inside vision of what that guy's like. And I'll never forget the next day, Zach Taylor, he talked to him and said, Joe told me he came over, and he was like, man, how different is this guy? And I said, man, you got a special one. We all knew from the talent, the ability you'd seen him play with in college, how good he was going to be. But sitting with him for just, that full day, I realized, man, this guy's going to be a really, really special quarterback for quite some time.
Stu Jackson, LA Rams.
Hey, Andrew, just wanted to ask you about Robert Woods. I mean, just from everything that I think most people can see and tell, whether inside or outside the locker room and organization, know how much he means to the team. And like I said, the organization and just what he's contributed to this playoff run. What has he meant to you guys, and how have you guys, to the extent possible, kind of kept him involved and part of this?
Man, you're gonna make me get emotional on here. Uh, that's a tough one to even talk about, man. Uh, Robert is one of those guys that's so special. He puts his heart and his soul into everything he does. Um, mm. He's somebody that all of us look up to for the passion he plays the game with. What he's been through the last month with his father and everything going on. He's one of those guys that really every guy in this locker room appreciates ball and appreciates playing this game just a little bit more for the guy he is. And there's no doubt about it. He'll be on our hearts this week because his leadership and who he's been for this football team over the last 5 years is nothing short of just excellent and unbelievable. And I mean, we signed together. We were the first two free agents here in LA who came in with Coach McVay, and I'll never forget the three of us being in here and doing our press conference here in the facility, announcing that we'd signed his LA Rams, and my kids were wearing his jersey that they had just made, and that special day we had with each other. And here we are now, 5 years later, as many games as we've won, the opportunity to be in two Super Bowls and two NFC championships. He'll always have a special place in our family and on this football team. He's the top of the list when it comes to the guys that lead us and are the guys we play for.
And then wanted to also ask you about Eric Weddle, and as somebody who is, I would say, an expert in career longevity. What was it like seeing him, come out of retirement and then to have had the impact that he's had during this playoff run?
It couldn't have been better timing and a better boost for us. I mean, Eric Weddle is one of those rare infectious energy guys who just, when he walks in a building, you hear his laugh, you hear his voice, you hear his energy, and he's here, from 5 a.m. till midnight at night. I mean, this guy lives in the facility, and he might as well just put a bed in here, I guess. But he's one of those guys that honestly just is his accountability and the way he can kind of push guys and ask more of guys and demand more and really hold that standard of excellence that he does. It couldn't have timed out better for us to get him when we did and have him in the building in this critical stretch when those kind of things, your attitude, your commitment, your standard of what you do and how you do things couldn't be more important during the playoffs. And it's really the basis of everything in your identity. And to have him added and his energy and his level of really just leadership has been so special and honestly just re-energized myself. I mean, I think he's almost kind of made the other leaders in here even better leaders because of the energy he's brought to all of us to really step it up to a whole other level.
Thank you.
Eric Wilson.
Andrew, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, like some great players, you are defying Father Time. Playing at the age of 40, talk to me about just your level of impact going into a game like this on Sunday.
Yeah, it's such a cool opportunity for me to be in a role where I get to be, a football player and a leader and a part of the whole entire organization, really. I mean, there's a lot of places in this building that I love to go and just be a part of and see what we're doing and how we can do it better. And that's one of the things I love the most of being around as long as I have. I can't wait to get out there and play with the guys. And they, honestly, sometimes now it's like the younger guys inspire me as much as they claim I inspire them. So it's fun for me to get out and compete with my team and have these opportunities. Obviously, it's not as fun playing in my age body-wise. There's a lot of things you got to get through and a lot of pain, a lot of things you have to, as I say, tape yourself up and get ready to go for it again. But you know what? The kind of guys we have and really this organization, the culture it's made up of, makes it all worth it every time.
I appreciate it, sir. Thank you so much and best of luck.
Thank you.
Joe Ellis, Sideline Sports Network.
How you doing, Andrew? Congratulations. So Cooper Cup had a record-setting year. Do you guys feel you get enough credit up front with the blocking you guys did for Cooper and for Matthew?
I think as linemen, you just sometimes you're better off just allowing those guys to get all the credit, because the reality is this: our job, if they're talking about us, it's usually because we did something wrong. So we're used to nobody saying anything about us. So if they're praising the receivers, the quarterback, the running back, whoever it is, that's fantastic, because we know that means that we had a part in it. We know that there's things that you obviously have to do to be able to have all those opportunities, but. We like sticking with just don't say our name. I'm all for that, right? The worst thing ever is when they started announcing numbers when they called penalties. I mean, if we didn't already get enough grief, when we mess up, now they got to say our names on the intercom.
I love it. Just before you go, what kind of birthday cake you guys get Matthew for his birthday today?
Matthew does not like attention that much, so I would doubt he'll be real excited about us making a big ordeal about it. But we definitely did a little birthday cake with him this weekend, so he's good. He's covered. And as I told him, being an older guy, that there's no more exciting birthdays. It's just people reminding you all the things that are happening to you as you're getting older now from now on. So he realizes that, and soon enough, hopefully he'll be on this screen with as much gray and white as I got.
Thank you.
Jeff Fedeton.
Hey, Andrew, I apologize if this has been asked before. I'm jumping on late, but you reached the big game here, and that you're playing the Bengals. How surreal is that?
It's unbelievable. Like I said, I've been asked the question a bunch, but the answer is similar, but also not much clarification, because it's like I can't even come up with the words of really how cool and how special it is for me. I've told people it's like my heart's with both organizations. I've put my heart and soul into both places. I couldn't believe in the people in both places more. I mean, my kids and all of us will always go to Cincinnati Bengals games, and I'll always go to Los Angeles for games when I'm retired. We love both places. So just to be in this moment, be exactly where my feet are, just enjoying and taking it all in, man. It's one of those things. It's almost like a storybook just to have this opportunity. What could possibly be at my age, my last game, to be at two places that you've accomplished what you have and been a part of, such a significant part of. It couldn't be more special to me and honestly my whole entire family.
Did you spend any of last week texting and calling old staff people of the Bengals, or is the tactic just to be focused on the game and nothing like that?
Yeah, I think that for me, just personally, how I am and how I've always been, I definitely have texted with some of them over there and back and forth a little bit early last week. But really, to me, it's like, you focus on the game and competing in the game. And then after that, regardless of the outcome, you reach out and just talk about what a cool moment it is and how special it was. And I think to me that's one of those things that kind of goes without saying. I think all those people there, I would hope respect me as much as I respect and admire them.
Was there one someone who's still with the Bengals, somebody you, even more than all the others, that you really kind of appreciate, that meant a lot to you in your career?
There's not a lot of them left, but yeah, I mean, there's obviously some guys still left that I had a lot of good times with and had a lot of fun with, and there's also a lot of staff and people in the building that I experienced life with. They might be in different positions maybe than when I was there with them, but it's one of those things that, man, there's so many cool faces and people and everything that I can't wait to see and say hello and just share this special moment with, and it's going to make it even better one day when I have a chance to go back there.
Thank you.
Kevin Modesti.
Hey, Andrew. Sorry if this repeats anything asked.
Sorry, Kevin, go again.
Lost you.
Thank you. Yeah, there was a lot of excitement when Cam Akers came back in time for the playoffs. What have you seen from him and the running game in general the last few games, and what are the possibilities for him and for those guys on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, it's been the boost that we thought it would be. I mean, Cam's been such a special player here. in just the short time he's been here, and a lot of guys look up to him and love having him on the football field. He brings a very unique energy for a young player, the passion and really dedication he has to this game. I always tell him, I mean, if he just makes sure he takes care of his body, he's going to have a really, really special career. He's got the right heart and the right mindset to be a heck of a back. And, it's been exactly what we thought. I mean, he had a goal to get back for the playoffs. He kept telling us all season long during his rehab, if you guys make the playoffs, I'm going to be there. And sure enough, he's done it. And he's in there now, adding to the mix with Sony and Daryl. And it's been special for us. And can't wait to have all those guys healthy again and this week. And hopefully we get a chance to get those guys going.
And you're talking about things beyond, numerical production, right? But a lot of us.
Yeah, I mean his energy and really, I was telling somebody the other day. I mean, he's one of the few young guys, like skill guys I've ever heard that, like in the huddle, on the field, like he's talking and passionate and involved. I mean, he's got a real fire to him that's really, really special. And even in his rehab process, I mean, when you came in the training room and he was in there, you knew it because he's talking life into his injury and to how much he's going to come back and how he's going to be a factor when he does. I mean, it was cool to see really the passion and energy he has, that all this dude wants to do is just play football and have fun and compete with his brothers. And it's neat to see, and it's going to be something that's going to make him a special one.
Thank you.
Alberto Garcia.
Hey, Andrew, two things. Joe Burrow talked about this morning about your preparation you two had after you suffered some injuries last year. I don't know if you want to talk about if you can talk about that, about your relationship with such a young quarterback for your ex-team, your former team, and now you're facing him in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. I texted him right after our game finished, and they had obviously won earlier in the day, and just said, we have a little room in my house that we watch the games in. We call it the black room because it's all black paint, and it's my kind of like hang up spot. It's my den, and it's got all my quotes on the wall and things that I love to read and stuff. And so we were watching TV in there, and I said, who would have thought, hanging out in that little room, you and I, last December, and now here we are both playing in the Super Bowl a year later. Really cool. I mean, special. And he's going to be a special one, and he's going to be a special football player in this league for a long time. But it was neat for us to have a moment like that and cultivate a relationship that I think will last for a long time.
Quick follow-up. What do you think gives him that it factor? Everybody talks about his swagger, his style. What do you think is giving him that opportunity to be at this stage so young in his second season in the league?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he's got an awesome mindset and mentality about how he's able to kind of create, really in his mind what it looks like to play ball the right way and what's efficient and what when you got guys who can kind of, like I always say, almost control the passion and control the nervous energy and funnel it towards making plays and being, a guy who's changing the game with how he plays, but with that energy and passion and really that ability to affect the game with all of that and control it at the same time. A lot of guys, it takes control of them, and it may put them in a situation where sometimes, they fail because they almost get too much anxiety or too much excitement. He's able to really harness all that and all his focus that he's gone and all his prep time and make it to where he goes out and he almost takes that anxiety, that pressure, the people who say anything he can't do, and he harnesses it into something that manifests itself into him playing excellent on Sundays. And I think that's a rare trait. And I think that's one of the things that, regardless of his abilities, that's also going to be the thing that's going to set him apart from a lot of other people.
Lastly, Andrew, there's been a lot of chatter of Tom Brady, 44-year-old quarterback, retiring. Do you think there's not enough chatter about a 40-year-old starting left tackle in the Super Bowl? Do you think there should be more people talking about what you are accomplishing this Sunday?
I don't know about all that. I mean, Tom's unbelievable. He's the GOAT. He's been a really special one. But, yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot more physical challenges to playing this position at 40 years old than I would say probably playing quarterback at 44. But it doesn't take away from what he's been able to accomplish and all the success he's had. I mean, I think it's unbelievable what he's done from leadership, from a quarterback standpoint. and the production is just insane. I mean, the guy's got, you know, all his fingers covered in rings, and rightfully so. So, you know, for me, it's just cool to have this opportunity, man, to take care of yourself, to be blessed with some health and ability to play this game as long as I have. If people want to talk about it, that's awesome. If they don't, like I said, less times people say my name, it means I'm probably not getting a penalty and I'm probably doing my job. So I'm happy the less times that people have to talk about me.
Thank you, Andrew. Good luck.
I appreciate it.
Great. Thank you, everyone, for participating in today's media session. That concludes the session, and a special thank you to you, Andrew.
Hey, thank y'all so much. Thank you for everybody. Let's have a great week.